Good afternoon and welcome to Alumni Stadium in Dover, Delaware for today's MEAC Football Digital Broadcast Network on ESPN3, featuring the Hornets of Delaware State and the Dragons of Virginia University Lynchburg. Hello everyone, I'm Gary Lang and I'm joined by Mike Walker. We'll return to Alumni Stadium in just a moment.
The Rattlers. The road has twists and turns. And when it ends, one thing is certain. Only one team will claim the title. MEAC champion.
A whole lot of personal goals. Most of his goals are really team related, but he had one personal goal, and he told me, Mike, if I accomplish anything as a head coach, I want to win more games than what they did last year.
He's done that.
Yeah, he has. And, I think he's done a whole lot more than that too.
There are a whole lot more wins to come in future seasons here for Delaware State with this program that Rod Milstead is putting together. Players who come for the spring practice won't be getting used to a new system and a new style of doing things. It'll be picking it up again after what will probably seem just like a few weeks off.
Right, and when you look at the roster, Gary, you look at the seniors who are leaving, there's some really impactful players who will be departing from the program, but for the most part, it's a very young team. Strong nucleus coming back, and, I think this spring game, or this spring season is really going to be a positive situation for Delaware State University. Whole lot of experienced guys coming back, like you said, with knowledge of the offensive schemes and the defensive schemes.
Bryson Aline, who's going to leave the team with his senior year, but the future, Bryant Dallas. We look at Michael Chris Ike and what he contributed in his 4 games this season. He's not dressed today, but we know that there's some offensive punch that can come along.
Got a very experienced offensive line as well. We get Cade Pedro, if he can come back, that's more experience when that offensive line. And look, they're really targeting offensive and defensive line, so this is going to be a whole lot of competition. And I tell you, I say it all the time, pressure, it busts pipes and it makes diamonds. For the first 7 games of the season, our floor was wet because our pipes were being broken all over the place. But I tell you what, that pressure started to form some diamonds. And when we start to add more pieces to this puzzle, I think we're going to really be shining like diamonds as the program progresses.
Hornets won the coin toss. They are going to be receiving the ball. They want to put the offense on the field first. In white pants, red jerseys, white numerals, and the red helmets. They will be going from our right to our left here in the first quarter. Virginia Lynchburg in blue uniforms with gray numerals. This will be a challenge as we try to pick them out. The opening kickoff goes out of bounds at the Hornets' 23-yard line. That will be the first penalty of the game, the illegal procedure call, as they will set the ball up at a line of scrimmage and the Hornets will put it in play. We're looking to see who will be the starting quarterback today. As you recall, Jack McDaniels has started the last few games after he came in the Howard game in the first half. But last week he was replaced by Keenan Black in the first half of that football game. So we'll see who is out there to start at quarterback today. And the starting quarterback this afternoon is going to be Shane Smith, who has not had a start this season. But we watched him during warm-ups. He had 1 offensive carry during this season. But Shane Smith will start today at quarterback for Delaware State. And Shane Smith hands off on first down. They'll try the right side of that offensive line from the 30-yard line, getting up to about the 32-yard line. And it was the handoff to the wide receiver, Trey Gross, who took it ahead for a 2-yard gain. or gray jerseys with powder blue numerals that just blend right into the uniforms. So we'll do the best we can on identifying players. We had a penalty marker at the 26-yard line, and they have called a penalty on Delaware State.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. I don't know if that was maybe excessive celebrating or maybe a last-minute hit, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, the play was actually about 20 yards downfield from there, so I did not see what happened. Ball is at the 27-yard line of Virginia Lynchburg. And we have scant information on these players. We do have a roster. We don't have any statistical information. We have no idea who the starters are, so we'll just describe what's happening. Flea flicker, throw it back to the quarterback. He's throwing deep. Receiver was behind coverage, but had to hold up and wait for the ball, and it's going to be complete all the way down at the Delaware State 35-yard line. A gadget play to open up the offense.
And I like the aggressiveness by Lynchburg. They recognize that, they might be the underdog in this game, but they're going to let it all go, too, because this is the last game of the season for them. And they're going to play like they're not intimidated by today's situation.
1st and 10 for the Dragons at the Delaware State 35-yard line. They'll throw it across, and it'll be intercepted. Jahid Niebauer returns it to the Delaware State 35-yard line. He just stepped in front of the intended receiver, read the pass, and made the interception for the Hornets.
Niebauer, one of the two defensive backs who was beaten deep on the prior play. He makes amends for that last play by just essentially saying, okay, you think you can beat me deep? Well, I'm just going to take this one and give it to my offense.
With the exchange, we have a break in the action. We'll take a timeout. This is HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports. You're watching MEAC football on ESPN3. With the ball at their own 29-yard line as we return to action from Alumni Stadium. Gary Lang along with Mike Walker. The Hornets intercepted the second pass of the game by Virginia Lynchburg. And they'll go to the air here on 1st down. Swing pass out to the right side. Isaiah Williams, the tight end, on the reception from Shane Smith, the surprise starter here at quarterback for Delaware State. Shane Smith takes it out to the Hornets. Let's see where they're going to set the ball down. At the 33-yard line, a pickup of 4 yards on the play, 2nd and 6.
4 consecutive passes completed for Shane Smith in his debut play.
First passes of his career. He'll hand off now to Bryson Aline, who follows the right tackle forward, gets out close to 1st down yardage. Going to come up maybe about 2 yards short on that run.
Running behind the right side of that offensive line for Delaware State University. And again, this season, the offensive line, they've struggled, not a whole lot of depth, but there's some big bodies up there, and they're all coming back.
Aline in the backfield with Smith. They'll fake the handoff to him. Smith runs it left side looking for a block. He doesn't get it. He's going to be very close to the 1st down as he gets to the 39-yard line. It'll depend on where they put the ball down, and the officials indicate 1st down Hornets.
My initial assessment of Shane Smith, you know what? He reminds me of both of the quarterbacks who have played this season. He's got a strong arm like Jack McDaniels, and he's a very good runner like Keenan Black. So it's a 2-for-1 from your regulars.
He hands it off to Aline. Good hole in the middle, and he gets it across the 50-yard line down to the Dragons' 47-yard line. Just a great opening for Bryson Aline to hit. He hits that hole so fast.
Yeah, and he's small. He's the type of guy who disappears behind the offensive line, and he's extremely fast going north and south. And he finishes off runs. This is not the type of guy who's going to shy away from contact at that moment of impact.
1st down Hornets. They'll give it to Aline again. Huge hole through the middle up to the 35-yard line. Cuts to the outside. 20-yard line. 15, 10, 5. Touch. Oh, he's out of bounds. Looked like they're going to roll. He got in. He dove for the end zone. Looked like he might have been knocked out of bounds, but the ball was forward, and it went across the goal line before he was taken out of bounds.
Like a true Hornet, Gary. He got airborne, and he recognized that, he was getting ready to get tackled, and he got off his feet, allowed his wings to spread, and just made sure that ball touched that pylon.
Extended it out and dove forward. His body went out of bounds, but the ball got across the goal line. We'll get a second look at it here on a monitor. And as he dove forward, That he might have touched. The ruling is going to be touchdown. They're going to review it, though. It looked like maybe his knee or foot touched out of bounds before the ball went across the goal line.
They're going to have to pull out a microscope for this one because, that looked like a touchdown to me. But, look, I'm not that close. I don't have the best angle. I'm not on the field. But I tell you what, great effort. He should get 6 points just for the effort alone.
Delayed call by the official who was down there. He waited for a moment before he put the hands in the air, and that's why my touchdown call was delayed just a little bit. So we'll see the referee, Troy Singleton, taking a look at the replay right now.
Right now, the offense just seems to be firing in all cylinders, Gary. Shane Smith hasn't thrown an incomplete pass since he started the game, and the offensive line is doing a great job of opening up huge holes and allowing these running backs to just find all types of seams and lanes, and this is what they've needed all season. And again, you can just see Bryson Eileen getting airborne, and I tell you what.
Bounds at the 1 yard line. First and goal at the 1
yard line.
Look at his feet.
And I think it was a good call.
Look like his feet might have made contact and dragged out of bounds before he got the ball over.
So it'll be first and goal for the Hornets from the Dragons' 1 yard line. We'll take those points off the board. Bryson Eileen may get the opportunity here to get that touchdown back as he goes out with the offensive unit. Shane Smith, in a quarterback for Delaware State, has seen limited action on the season, had an offensive carry, played on special teams, had a couple of solo tackles, but he got the start here today, and he's doing a great job. Eileen looking for a little bit of running room. He's going to lose a yard on that carry to make it second and goal from the 2. Ran to the left side, and that defensive unit was looking for Bryson Eileen.
A little bit of pushing and shoving down there as emotions start to flare up a little bit.
Hornets offensive line pretty much saying, don't think you're going to come in our house, and we're not going to push you back.
Whole lot of meat up there, too, man.
Oh,
the average height is 6'3", the average weight 305.
Kind of offensive line you really want to have. They'll give to Eileen again. He finds the middle, and he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Hornets.
It's a Hornets touchdown.
Bryson Eileen, they erased the touchdown he had 2 plays ago, but he gets it here today. Runs it in from the 2 yard line, puts the Hornets up 12-0 as, again, Jack McDaniels will go in. He will hold. They're going to try the extra point here. Jose Oromo Martinez to kick. The left-footed kicker for Delaware State. Out of the Jack McDaniels hold, the kick is up, and it is good.
The extra point is good.
9:59 remaining here in the first quarter, and the Hornets go up 13-0 over Virginia Lynchburg. Delaware State showing that offensive punch that they've wanted to show all season, the opportunity to do so here today.
Success breeds success, Gary. So you have a little bit of success on offense, and everybody kind of wants to get involved.
Hornets went 71 yards in 7 plays there. They thought they went that distance in 5 plays, but the replay, as we saw it, was pretty much accurate. So we have a break in the action here, and we'll take the break as well. Timeout on the field. This is MEAC Football on HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports and ESPN3. Here to Alumni Stadium in Dover, Delaware. Let's take a look here as Shane Smith getting the start for the Hornets. 4 for 4 passing, 58 yards, and 1 touchdown in the first 5.5 minutes of the game.
Struggled at that position throughout the season. Really haven't had one quarterback step up and kind of distinguish himself. And now Shane Smith is now officially in that mix.
Kickoff taken at the 10-yard line by Virginia Lynchburg, returned out to the 24-yard line, and a good hit made there for Delaware State by Ernest Sellers on special teams. Check that. That's going to be Nassim Woodard, the wide receiver, getting down there fast.
Woodard, one of those guys who's played some offense this year, but you tend to see him perform well on special teams. And again, when you perform well on special teams, that's your way of telling the coach, listen, coach, get me on the field. I want to play. I'll do anything I can to represent and contribute for my team.
Dragons will start off 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. The third play of the game, they'll hand it off, run left side, and out to the 30-yard line, close to the 35-yard line before being run out of bounds. The running back on that play
looked like Thomas Newman.
That's who it was, number 20, Thomas Newman. And they're going to say he got to the 36-yard line. That'll be a first down. Second first down of the game for Virginia Lynchburg. They've got one on a big pass play on their first possession and then got the interception on the next play. They'll keep it on the ground here, run right side, trying to find some running room. Little bit of a hole there on that play for Newman. Newman gets it out to the 39-yard line. Gain of 3 on that carry. Had to work hard to find a place to run to as the Hornets were sealing up the holes there along the line of scrimmage. Newman remains in the backfield. Long snap count, trying to draw the Hornets offside. Cameron Stevenson, the quarterback for the Dragons. Now Newman shifts to the right side of quarterback Stevenson. Stevenson takes the snap, hands it off to Newman. Hit at the line of scrimmage, can't find any place to run, and he will be brought down for a loss back at the 36-yard line. Actually, Stevenson, trying to block, ran into the Newman in the backfield. So there was just a whole mix-up back there.
Good job by Brian Cavalcanti of recognizing he was going to wind that back and got off of the blocks that were intended for him and just made a good open field tackle for a short loss on the play.
3rd down and 10 as he lost the 3 yards that were made on the previous play. Stevenson drops back, wants to throw, winging it out downfield. His receiver stopped at the 50-yard line. Johnny Rembert was the intended receiver, and he just stopped. Hornets tried to get back there. 2 men were on coverage, but that was thrown so far nobody was going to get to it.
Rembert ran like what we would call a curl pattern, and the pass was more like a fly pattern, so just some miscommunication by those two for Virginia Lynchburg.
Dragons will punt now on 4th down and 10. Punter stands back at the 21-yard line to take the snap. Bryson Aline standing at his own 22 for the return. They almost blocked it. We have a penalty marker. We're going to get roughing the kicker as Bryson Aline tries the return for the Hornets. He'll be taken down around the 23-yard line. Coverage was there very quickly, but this is going to come back as the Hornets tried to block the punt, didn't get it, but they got the kicker, and he is limping off the field now. That could change the game for Virginia Lynchburg if they lose their punter. So they'll move the ball up to the Dragons' 36-yard line. Check that. Should be the 40. What are they doing? They move the ball up across midfield to the Hornets' 49-yard line. Why that far? I'm puzzled.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure why they stepped off that amount of yardage, but I tell you what, it results in the first down and gives Virginia Lynchburg another opportunity to continue to drive.
All right, line of scrimmage was the 36, so yeah, 15 yards puts it right there. Pitch out right side to Newman. Newman trying to turn the corner, gets up to around midfield before he's taken down on the tackle for the Hornets, Isaiah Small.
Small coming up on run support, again doing a good job of open field tackle in space. These Lynchburg backs and wide receivers, they're small and they're shifty. So if you miss those tackles, they're going to pick up a lot of yards. You got to be a sure-handed tackler for Delaware State today.
Muhammad Kilab back in the backfield now with quarterback Cameron Stevenson. Stevenson takes the snap on the shotgun, drops back, pressure coming. He has to scramble. He'll throw the ball away. And Tell you what, he was not outside the tackles, and that ball did not make it to the line of scrimmage. They will get him for intentional grounding.
Very, very late flag on the play. Let's see if it reflects that intentional grounding or maybe some roughing the passer.
Oh, he did. Yep, that's the call, intentional grounding. He just went straight back, and 3 Hornets were after him. He never had a chance to get outside of the tackles, and the ball didn't go past the line of scrimmage. He threw it almost directly to the sideline, so they had to make that call. Put the ball back to the 34-yard line of Virginia Lynchburg, and it is 3rd down.
Good pressure by the Hornets on that play.
3rd and 27.
Or what we would normally say, 3rd and punting team, get ready.
Yeah, and the punter just got roughed up, so we don't know if he is ready to come back in if needed. Another penalty marker, as it's going to cost Virginia Lynchburg an additional 5 yards on a false start. So make it 3rd down and 32. And even if the quarterback has to do a quick kick, somebody's going to have to punt this ball away unless they come up with a big play here. Cameron Stevenson saw that pressure by Delaware State coming, panicked, threw the ball out of bounds, got called for intentional grounding, and then the false start on top. That's 20 yards without getting a play off. They blitzed, and Stevenson had to get rid of it fast. Down the far sideline, trying to go deep, but over the head of the intended receiver, makes it 4th down and 32. Now the Hornets looking for a good return on this punt by Bryson Aline. Punter is back in the game for Virginia Lynchburg. Punting from almost the same place, 5 yards back from where his previous punt was kicked. Aline standing at the 28-yard line to receive the kick. Line drive. Aline takes it at the 30. Goes to his right side, eludes one hit. Now looking for some running room up the middle, and they've got good punt coverage. That's twice that Bryson Aline couldn't find anywhere to go.
Delaware State opted not to go after the punt, so you would have thought they would have had more guys back there to block, but looked like Eileen just couldn't find any lanes or any walls established on that punt.
6:47 left in the first quarter. The Hornets lead by 13 over Virginia Lynchburg. Break in the action. This is MEAC Football on HSRN, the voice of HBCU Sports, and ESPN3.
Danger! Danger! Danger!
Back at Alumni Stadium, the Hornets will take off here 1st and 10 from their own 31-yard line. And for Delaware State, Shane Smith stays in the game at quarterback. Plenty of time back there to throw. Pulls it down. He'll run with it to the 40 and then pulls it down and gets wrapped up at the 45-yard line.
About a 14-yard gain on that play, and you can tell Gary he's not used to hook sliding, but he did a great job of recognizing the situation, and he took what Lynchburg gave him. He didn't try to force the pass, saw that wide open lane and picked up enough yards for the 1st down.
Put the shoulder down and kind of rolled into the tackler. He'll learn to slide. That'll be part of the drill come spring. Smith with a 1st down from his own 45-yard line. 2 men in the backfield. He'll hand it off to Bryson Aline. He follows blocking out until he gets to about the 50-yard line, and then there's about 5 blue jerseys, gray jerseys with blue numerals that are on Aline, and they roughed him up a little bit. Some of the Hornets now go back there to took a little bit longer for them to unpile than that offensive line would have liked.
Right, and you know what? I like their hustle as a unit back to where their teammate was to find out what was going on and to let Lynchburg know, hey, you can't do that here in the nest.
Not here at Alumni Stadium. 4-yard gain to the 49-yard line, 2nd down and 6. Give it to the workhorse Aline. He finds a big hole over left tackle. Gets hit at the Dragons' 45-yard line, coughs it up, and Lynchburg saying they have the ball, and the officials are going to say the same thing. Hornets will turn it over. Bryson Aline had a pretty good hole there, found his way out, but just as he was going down, he got hit.
a whole lot of extracurricular activity going on out there, too, after these plays. So both of these teams are fired up. Clearly, Virginia Lynchburg didn't come here to be intimidated by Delaware State, and they're letting them know on every play. So Delaware State has to be very composed and recognize that their goal is to win the game on the scoreboard and not in these fights.
The Hornets also are trying to send a message. Don't think you're going to come into our stadium and rough us up. Kind of like Virginia Lynchburg looking at Delaware State as the potential bully, and Virginia Lynchburg and Delaware State looking at Virginia Lynchburg and saying, we've got to watch this little guy. Quarterback Cameron Stevenson goes back and throws on first down. Again, Hornets blitzing and putting on a lot of pressure, forced the throw down the far sideline, incomplete.
Delaware State's defensive line is just overwhelming Virginia Lynchburg's offensive line. Stevenson hasn't really had an opportunity to throw one pass with protection since the game has started.
He did complete that first pass. It went for 38 yards, but that's been it since then. He'll hand it off on second down. Hit in the backfield, but managed to get back to the line of scrimmage. On the carry, it was Thomas Newman. Third down and 10, as this defense does not want to give up anything. They gave up that 38-yard pass on the first play, but since then, they've stiffened up.
Nose guard and senior Jason Smith is just being really disruptive for Delaware State up front. He's literally destroying the offensive line.
He wants to blitz, comes straight up the middle. Stevenson has to scramble to the right, almost picked off again by Niebauer as he scrambled to the right side. Smith came up and blitzed up the middle and was untouched to the quarterback.
They flipped him. They took him out of his three-point stance, and they actually positioned him where the linebackers line up, and Virginia Lynchburg couldn't account for him, and he literally ran in there unblocked.
Jihad Niebauer on the sideline, obviously disappointed that he was not able to pick that one off. Fourth down and 10. The snap to the punter. Hangs one up. Sends Bryson Aline back to the 13-yard line. He is immediately hit and taken down. Maybe the best thing we've seen so far today from the Dragons is punt coverage. We have a penalty marker on the field back near midfield on the far side outside of the hash mark. So
that was a good punt by Christopher Vasquez, Gary. Good hang time, good distance. And
personal foul face mask against Delaware State on the return. So that will move the ball back half the distance to the goal line. They would have had the ball at the 14. This will move it back to the Hornets' 7-yard line.
For the first time this season, Delaware State hasn't really struggled offensively. They've been able to move the ball on each of their possessions, and they were moving it on their last possession when it was fumbled by Bryson Arlene. But if all things hold as they have been since the beginning of the game, this could be a very long drive for Delaware State.
With about 4.5 minutes left in the first quarter, let's see if the Hornets are able to move it 93 yards. Run right side, out across the 10 to the 13-yard line. Now a late penalty marker. I think the officials are about tired of some of the stuff that's going on after almost every play, offensively and defensively. Unsportsmanlike conduct will be called on the Hornets after a 5-yard run. They'll move the ball again half the distance to the goal line and set it down at the 6.
Going to charge Caden Crawford with that particular penalty. And, he's got to keep his head. He's got to know the situation. His team is moving the ball. He can't just give it back to Virginia Lynchburg.
Second down and 11. Aline into the middle, finds a little bit of a hole, takes it to the outside, now cuts back toward the middle. Check that, not Bryson Aline on that carry for Delaware State. It was Bryant Dallas in the game for the Hornets. Dallas got some of that yardage back to the 12-yard line. It's going to be third down for Delaware State. And about 6 yards to go. Quarterback rolling right side, Shane Smith. Penalty marker on the field as the runner gets up to the 15-yard line. We'll have to see what this penalty is about, and all of a sudden the officials getting flag happy as the play on field getting a little bit sloppy as well. Hornets trying to get out from inside their own 10-yard line on a few plays, but committing penalties at the same time, setting it up with that unsportsmanlike conduct on the punt. Five-yard penalty will make it third down and a yard to go for Delaware State on the illegal substitution by Virginia Lynchburg.
If you're Del State, you got to just take a deep breath at this point of the drive, and you got to recognize you can't shoot yourself in the foot anymore. You can't have any miscues, any penalties. You just got to execute your offense and continue the momentum that you established since the opening drive.
Shane Smith hands it off on third down, and the Hornets will have a first down as they bang it out close to the 20-yard line on the carry by Bryant Dallas. First down Hornets at their own 20-yard line, so maybe they got their composure back here and they're ready to move the ball downfield, starting this drive at their own 7. Some stops and stutters as they had some penalties, helped on a penalty by Virginia Lynchburg on an illegal substitution. Shane Smith passing, complete to the right side, and that looked like it was Teron Selby on the catch. Selby out to the 27-yard line, just a quick out by the wide receiver. A little bit of a slant back move toward the middle. Like what we're seeing here by Shane Smith, though.
You know, he's taking what they're giving him. He's not forcing the issue, Gary. He's made some really good decisions as far as the passing and runs are concerned, and that's the reason why the offense just seems to be moving effortlessly down the field.
Second down and about 4 to go. Smith takes the snap, throws right side, and it will be incomplete going down that far sideline. He was looking for Jordan Hanna over there. Just a little bit too much. Hanna had double coverage around him, and that was slowing him up.
That might be his first incomplete pass.
It is.
For the game. And again, just trying to see if he can hit that home run. But just got to stay calm. Don't overthink this. It's a third and short situation. Shane Smith has shown the ability to run. He's just got to get the ball to his playmakers if he does decide to pass.
Fakes the draw, gets it to Teron Selby. Nice move across the middle, and Selby is out to midfield. Good pattern. Selby coming off the left side, slanting into the middle on a post, and a perfectly timed pass by Shane Smith.
Offensive line doing a great job of providing protection for Shane Smith, giving him the ability to look downfield and find these wide receivers.
First and 10 from the Hornets' 49-yard line. Handoff to Dallas. Dallas, big hole, cuts it back to the right side, breaks a tackle at the 40-yard line, down to the 30, looking for some blocks, inside the 25, down inside the Dragons' 20-yard line.
Brian Dallas just showing tremendous balance and awareness on that play, Gary, and picking up massive yards after initial contact. Just a great job by him on that play.
He was hit at the 40, finally went down at the 28-yard line. First and 10 from there. Dallas around the right side, leading tacklers, blockers out there, and he'll head for the stick, trying to get the first down. Looks like he got down to around the 11 or 12-yard line of the Dragons.
Derwin Witt for Lynchburg on the tackle, but again, Delaware State just picking up yards in chunks right now.
Second down and 2 for the Hornets. This time it's Aline in the backfield, and Bryson Aline should have the first down. Looks like he got down to the 7-yard line of Virginia Lynchburg.
Recognizing the situation, getting really about his north and south game on that carry, not trying to be too fancy, lowering his shoulders and running into tacklers and doing enough to pick up the first down.
Be first and goal from the 7-yard line of Virginia Lynchburg. They're calling it the 6-yard line. Bryson Aline into the middle, through a hole, touchdown Hornets.
It's a Hornets touchdown!
Bryson Aline with his second of the game, a 6-yard run as he celebrates with the lineman who opened a huge hole for him to go through. You or I could have gone through that one.
Definitely me. We'll have
little
to vote
questionable on me, but I've got a few years on you.
Just a great job by the offensive line, Gary. They've been passing, blockers and run blockers very well as a unit today.
Jack McDaniels to hold on the extra point attempt. Romo Martinez kick is up, and it is good. The Hornets extend the lead now to make it 20-0.
Martinez just extending his perfect field goal kicks for the season. He hasn't missed one the entire season.
10 plays, 93 yards for the Hornets. That may be their longest scoring drive of the season.
Without checking the record books, I can pretty much tell you it probably is.
Yeah, I feel safe in saying that. Of course, what I don't like is you saying that he hasn't mixed an extra point all season. I heard announcers say that a few weeks ago in Baltimore, and the Ravens lost the game to the New Orleans Saints on a missed extra point by a kicker who hadn't missed one since high school.
Then I take it back.
Yeah, please retract that and pretend that nobody heard you say that. What a start for Shane Smith. 6 of 7 passing, 87 yards and a touchdown, and has led this offense on 3 good scoring drives.
You can just tell everybody's excited about being out there. Right now, this kickoff team is just raring to get ready.
Here's the kick to the 13-yard line, a return up the middle of the field, across the 30, across the 40, and it'll be a saving tackle made by Jose Romo Martinez.
That's a nice return by Johnny Renberg. He caught that seam and he turned on the Jets, and if not for Martinez, he might be celebrating 6 in the Hornets end zone.
Well, you remember his brother Felix was lost for the season after he made a tackle in the Howard game and was injured. Dragons with good field position here, 1st and 10 from their own 49-yard line. Will they'll start off with Cameron Stevenson at quarterback. Stevenson hands off on 1st down, and not a lot of running room there as that defensive unit for Delaware State meets up with Tomas Newman. Newman's 5th carry of the game. He had 14 yards previously, picked up 2 there.
Very interesting defensive set. They have Jason Smith from time to time. He's not even taking his 3-point stance. Sometimes he's standing.
More or less setting up as a linebacker. He blitzed through there, almost caught the back in the backfield, just missed making the tackle. Maybe a yard on the play, on the carry by Newman. And they'll have to flip the field here as the first quarter comes to an end in Dover, Delaware. The end of the first quarter from Alumni Stadium with the score, Delaware State 20 and Virginia Lynchburg 0. We'll take this time out here at the end of the first quarter. This is MEAC Football on HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports, and ESPN3.
It's amazing at your Lexus dealer.
3rd down and 7 situation here for Virginia Lynchburg as we begin the second quarter. Welcome back to Alumni Stadium in Delaware State University. Hornets leading 20-0. Gary Lang, Mike Walker bringing you the action. And quarterback Cameron Stevenson scrambles in the backfield, throws downfield. It will be incomplete and almost picked off by Jawayne Granger. We do have a penalty marker on the field. It's at the line of scrimmage. Early indication is that this one might be against the Hornets. Let's get the call from referee Ann Troy Singleton. Hands to the face on Delaware State. It's Christian Johnson, the defensive end, who will get called for the 15-yarder, and it will give Virginia Lynchburg a 1st down. One thing that Hornets must not be happy about here in the first half, the number of penalties they have committed or for which they have been called. First down for the Dragons from the Hornets' 33-yard line after that 15-yard step-off. Cameron Stevenson looks to the sideline.
Fifth penalty against Delaware State.
And that's too many, especially since one was an unsportsmanlike conduct. Things have calmed down a little bit. Bad snap, rolls in the backfield, and will be covered back at the 47-yard line. Looks like Elijah Stewart has come in at quarterback also for Virginia Lynchburg. Nope, it is Cameron Stevenson. And again, we apologize if we get a little bit of a mix-up, but they are wearing silver and gray jerseys and powder blue numerals. I hate the description powder blue, but that's about it. A big loss on that play. Loss of about 13 yards on that bad snap, so it'll be second down and a whole lot of yardage as they go to the line of scrimmage. And now there is a timeout called by Virginia Lynchburg. 30-second timeout here, so we'll just keep it right here and talk about this first half so far. Delaware State being able to do offensively just about anything they want to do.
And they've shut him down defensively as well. Quarterback Cameron Stevenson for the first quarter was 1 for 7 with an interception. He's got a total of 38 yards passing, and that was essential in his very first pass of the game that he connected for a 38-yard reception. Beyond that, he hasn't been able to find one wide receiver, and primarily it's because of the pressure from that defensive front for Delaware State University. They've done a great job of just eluding the offensive line and putting pressure on the QB.
Yeah, we know who let the dogs out here so far today, because that defense has just blitzed almost every passing situation, and they put consistent pressure in on the Dragons quarterback. Jason Smith has been turned loose. He's been having fun there.
Literally one down lineman. Everybody seems to be on all twos. They're all playing linebacker.
Smith right over top of the center there, but they'll slight pitch out in the backfield. They'll run the ball and lose a couple more yards as that Hornet defense was there and ready, making the stop. Tomas Newman on the carry puts the ball back to the Delaware State 47-yard line. A loss of a yard on the play. They marked his forward progress to there. He actually went down a couple yards back. But with the number of Hornets players who were on top of Newman, it's no wonder he went back further than that. Hornets across the line of scrimmage, no contact and no flag.
Got to show discipline. Can't be overexcited. Everybody wants to get involved, but you got to remain disciplined.
Long snap, and it went completely past the quarterback. Still loose, back at the 20-yard line, and finally covered by Virginia Lynchburg back at the Hornets' 22-yard line. It was like the quarterback didn't know that snap was being made. He never even reacted to it. Covered back at the Delaware State 23-yard line.
Stevenson's coming off the field limping a little bit. I think he might have.
He got rolled up on the way back there, yeah.
Yeah. Just not a good series.
But you know what? As soon as he hit the sideline, the limp went away. Yeah, I'm sorry, at the Lynchburg 23-yard line, and a short punt. This one will now take a Delaware State bounce and finally be down somewhere in the area of the 37, 38-yard line of Virginia Lynchburg. Everything went wrong on that series for the Dragons. Now they're talking to each other as they head to the sideline. Looks like maybe some dissension in the ranks for the Dragons. The defensive unit goes out on the field. Delaware State will have it 1st and 10 from the Dragons' 37-yard line. Let's see what Shane Smith is able to do here. He'll hand off on first down to Bryson Aline, who will pick up 5 yards down to the inside the 33-yard line, close to the 32.
And you can just see the size disparity between the offensive line for Del State and that defensive line for Virginia Lynchburg. You know, they're just getting pounded right now.
Smith throws quick out, left side, complete to Teron Selby. Selby has a block downfield, heads down the sideline, driven out of bounds at around the 14-yard line. Shane Smith acting out there like this is game number 11 for him instead of game number 1.
Right. Again, he's just got all types of time, Gary, back there. There's great protection by the offensive line. And, you know,
even on that quick out, though, his accuracy spot on. 1st and 10 Hornets. Smith, hands off, fakes the handoff to Aline. He'll keep it. He'll run with it, and he'll be taken down for a loss of a few yards. Looks like a loss of about 2 on the play. That option, he just didn't see anybody to pitch it out to after the fake to Aline.
Willie Holloway of Virginia Lynchburg on the tackle there. And again, I like the fact that he didn't force it. He took what the defense gave him. Didn't like what he saw. You know, in those situations in prior games, sometimes the other quarterbacks have forced the situation, have created turnovers, but Delaware State just loses a few yards on the play but maintains possession. 2nd
and 12. He'll give it to Aline this time. Finds a way through, dances and spins his way down to the 4-yard line. Had a good opener on the left side and then just spun away from tacklers and danced his way down inside the 5. With that carry, Bryson Eileen has actually eclipsed the century mark, and we're still in the second quarter of the game. He could mount some big yardage. Came into the game with 530 yards rushing. Bryant Dallas gets the call on 1st and goal. Gets it to the 3-yard line as the defense right there closed up the gaps. Brian Dallas, you know, just a little juking and jiving up in there. You know, when you get that close to the red zone, you got to just hit those holes and commit to them. You can't really be searching for a lane. There are a few rules that I have about football, and one is that if a ball carrier stops, that's pretty much where he's going to finish too. Dallas on the carry. Cuts it back inside, tried to take it outside. They closed up the hole. He found a way to take it back inside. Touchdown Hornets. A little pushing and shoving after that play, but Delaware State kept their composure. They're not engaging in any post-curricular activity. Hornets extend that lead to make it 26-0. Jose Romo Martinez will try to make it 27 here out of the hold of Jack McDaniels. The kick is up, and it is good. We have just under 10 minutes left in the first half, and Delaware State, with the kind of lead they are going to enjoy this afternoon. It's 27-0, 5 plays, 37 yards on the scoring drive. Timeout on the field. This is MEAC Football on HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports, and ESPN3.
What's in your wallet?
This is held for at 27 points. And they will kick off. Virginia Lynchburg. This defense has been in that backfield just as much as they've wanted to this afternoon. The kickoff taken at the 10-yard line, trying to find some running room, finds a little bit of a hole at the 20 and finally brought down at about the 25, 26-yard line on the return for the Dragons.
Remember, doing a good job, Gary, of just finding some open seams, and it looked like he was going to get tackled deep on Virginia Lynchburg's side of the field, but he managed to elude a couple of tacklers for Delaware State and picked up a pretty decent yardage on that return. They're going to start this drive about on their own 25.
Mike Walker, if you're on a team and you're down by 27 points and you only have 7 yards of offense, is it a good idea to be jawing with the other team after every play?
Sometimes that's all you got, my man. Sometimes that's all you got.
Here's Cameron Stevenson on the end around, flipping it up in the air, and it's taken in the backfield, trying to find some place to run. They're going to lose a couple of yards on this play. They pulled out the gadget plays. Isaiah McNair on the carry. We saw a flea flicker earlier. Dragons trying to do something to catch this Delaware State defense that has been up to the task so far. Loss of a yard on the play, 2nd and 11. Stevenson waits for the snap. Takes it, throws quick to the wide receiver who just took a couple of steps and then cut inside. And it is a completion. Darwin Witt or
Corey Smith Jr.
13. That play picked up 5 yards, so it'll be 3rd down and 6 now for the Dragons.
Jahad Niebauer on the tackle there for Delaware State.
Virginia Lynchburg with 5 first downs in the game. Deep drop throw, right side, and just led the receiver too far. Actually, the pass was out of bounds as he was trying to get it to Devin McKinley, the tight end, downfield. 4th down and 6 for Virginia Lynchburg.
Stevenson has been under so much pressure that even perceived pressure becomes real after a while. So if he even hears somebody close to him, he's going to assume it's pressure and get rid of that ball quickly.
Dragons set to punt here as Bryson Aline stands back at his own 37-yard line, waiting. This a low kick. Aline from the 41. Finds a bit of a hole and is taken down at the 47-yard line. And once again, good punt coverage by Virginia Lynchburg.
Kevin Simmons on the tackle for Virginia Lynchburg. And again, they've had some pretty good special teams play.
On the exchange, we have a break in the action. A timeout on the field. This is MEAC Football on HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports and ESPN3. Hornets will start off 1st and 10 from their own 47-yard line, and first yard gained by Bryson Aline after this will put him over the 100-yard mark for the day, but they'll throw the ball into the middle. Penalty marker goes into the line of scrimmage area. Completed pass for Delaware State to Trey Gross, but we'll wait and see. It's going to be holding against the Hornets. That will negate the gain on the play and the completion and move the ball back.
They're going to get Leaky Sue with the holding. And again, you know, this is an undersized defensive line. They're quick, but they're undersized. And there should be no need for any holding. You got to be able to engage your man. These are the smallest defensive linemen that you faced all season. You got to be able to dominate them cleanly.
Sometimes, though, that quickness can cause the problem after the 10-yard step off. As the guy can just get past you a little bit, you got to grab a hold. Quarterback on the run here. Shane Smith couldn't find anybody open, pulled it down and decided to take it through the middle. And again, a little bit of a mix-up after the play. The officials break that up, but the Hornets on the carry by Shane Smith, good for 11 yards, 2nd down and 9. And what I saw came very close to what could be construed as a punch by a Dragons player. No penalty marker, though. They'll go to the air again. Teron Selby, complete. Spins his way past one tackler and gets it down to close to the 35-yard line of Virginia Lynchburg. They'll put the ball at the 36-yard line. It is a Delaware State 36-yard line, and now a penalty marker. This is going to be that unsportsmanlike conduct call, but who's it going to go against? The Hornets. Come on, when you got a 27-point lead and you're dominating offensively and defensively, you just need to calm down. Let the other team get that bad call.
And that's Leaky Sue's second penalty. All right, holding, and now he's got a personal foul. You know, it's one of those situations where we're very thin on the offensive line, but I know Coach Milstead, if he could, he'd pull him out of the game and sit him down and talk to him.
Well, who he talked to right there was referee Troy Singleton. He wanted to know what happened there because it was so far after the play has been completed that the marker was thrown. You want to know what happened? There was no real apparent physical contact, but it had to be something that was said. First down for the Hornets. They fake the handoff, and it'll be the quarterback, Smith, taking it around the left side, picking up maybe about 7 yards on the play.
Great read by Shane Smith. Defensive end collapsed down and gave him the angle to the outside. He took it and picked up good yardage on that first down run.
Got 8, second down and 2 for the Hornets. Ball at 43-yard line of the Dragons. Smith takes the snap, hands it off. Bryson Aline carrying tacklers down to around the 35-yard line. He now is over the century mark. And a first down for the Hornets, as they'll put the ball at Virginia Lynchburg's 34-yard line.
Bryson Eileen averaging a ridiculous 9 yards per carry. You just might want to keep feeding this guy the rock. But it seems like everybody who touches the ball makes it happen today.
He just dragged tacklers, too. They take a lean on the pass play as he was in motion, took the lateral pass, and now we have a penalty marker as the tackler went too far out of bounds. Bernard West will be called for the unsportsmanlike conduct there. And again, the players get their heads together and they have to jaw at each other after the penalty called on Virginia Lynchburg. A good play that got the first down, and now they'll get some more yardage.
At this point of the game, if you're in Del State, it's foolish to engage them in anything other than the football play itself. You're just taking away from what your team is accomplishing on the field.
Hornets coaches call that offensive unit over to the sideline. They had the first down already from the play, but they'll move it forward from the 17. That'll take it down around the 8-yard line or so. And a break in the action, a timeout with 6:14 left in the first half. We'll take this timeout as well. This is MEAC Football on HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports and ESPN.
To 40% off.
Back to action at Alumni Stadium. Delaware State 1st and 10. The ball at about the 9-yard line. Snap off the shoulder of quarterback Shane Smith. Picked up by Bryant Dallas. He managed to run forward and save it for a yard.
Delaware State getting all the bounces today. That would have resulted in a turnover for us during the regular part of the season. But again, things just working out well for Del State.
We remember at South Carolina State, the pass off the hands of the intended receiver and right to the defender. That's the kind of breaks that they had to deal with. There's a pass to the end zone. Looking for Trey Gross. Did he get it? He did. He had to fight off the defender, and Trey Gross came up with a touchdown for Delaware State. Had to wait and see because it was a struggle for the ball, and the defender is down outside of the end zone.
Trey Gross just out muscling him for that ball, and
yeah.
That's what you want. You know, the quarterback is told, you put the ball up there and let our receivers go get it. Again, just a quick fade pattern to the right side of the field, and Trey Gross is doing what he needs to do for Delaware State. That's a great individual effort.
I watched that replay there that we saw too, and I can't see what the injury was to the defender who tried to get in there.
Might have came down on his shoulder, you know.
Yeah, that would be the most obvious thing for the injury. Need tickets to an event? Go to MagicCityTickets.com. Magic City Tickets, your tickets to the world. So we wait here with the injury now to the defender on that play, but you have to give a lot of credit to Trey Gross there. He had to really wrestle to make that catch. He was outside of the defender and the ball was thrown inside, so he had to make a move over top of the defender to get to the football.
Second touchdown for Smith in today's game.
first start of the season, well, really the first start of his career here at Delaware State. And he has now thrown 2 touchdown passes. Jose Romar Martinez will be called upon to kick another extra point for Delaware State, and he is, I'm sure, willing to kick as many of them as they ask him to kick today. This one is through the uprights as well.
The extra point is good!
We have 5:40 left in the first half, and Delaware State is now up 34-0 over Virginia Lynchburg. Everything going their way so far in this contest, offensively and defensively. The only hiccup, a turnover in the first quarter. But they have been able to take advantage of Virginia Lynchburg turnovers and miscues.
Right now they're just dominating. Delaware State is the bigger team, the more athletic team, the faster team. And they're excited about today's game. They came into the game with a certain level of excitement, wanting to close out the season with a victory. And right now, everything just seems to be going their way. They can't allow themselves to be goaded into unnecessary penalties, trying to respond to some of the activities that Lynchburg is engaging in. They just have to stay focused and play the game for the score on the scoreboard and not necessarily focusing on that extracurricular activity.
7 plays, 53 yards for the score for the Hornets as they will kick off again. The ball dropped, picked up at the 1, running to the right side, up to the 13, 14-yard line, and upended then on the return for Virginia Lynchburg. Johnny Remberg on the return. Rembert got the ball out to, they're going to mark the line of scrimmage at the 13. So it's been a tough day for Cameron Stevenson at quarterback, as this Hornet defense has just been in the backfield almost every play when he wanted to throw the ball, and on some of the running plays as well. But for Shane Smith, 10 of 11 passing. That's incredible for 151 yards, 2 touchdowns for Delaware State. Stevenson hands it off on first down. They'll run right side, finding a bit of a running room and breaking some tackles. That's a pretty good carry. Tomas Newman picking up 12 yards to the 25-yard line for a first down for the Dragons. They have a pretty good offense, but size difference, and the Hornets are using that difference there on the defensive line. Stevenson hands off to Rembert again. This time he's hit coming across the line of scrimmage. Maybe gets 2 yards out to the 27.
Second down for the Dragons.
Huge hit by Niebauer on there. Again, coming up out of that safety position and just laying some wood. It seems like every time Virginia Lynchburg has a very good play, the very next play, Delaware State does something big defensively.
Niebauer just missed an interception earlier here in the first half. Long count here. Down to 5 seconds on the game, on the play clock. 3, 2, just got it off. Stevenson drops back, wants to throw, almost picked again as he threw inside. His receiver was outside, and it was very nearly a pick for Devin Smith.
I think Smith just basically misjudged that. It just seems so.
He hurt himself on the play, too, trying to get to the ball.
Right. I think he misjudged it a little bit because I don't think he believed how easy that interception could have been.
And they'd be celebrating in the end zone had he caught that ball. 3rd down and 8. Stevenson, blitz up the middle, steps aside, throws right side, down the sideline, and it's broken up. The defensive back down there on good coverage for Delaware State, Kewan Selby. The Selby brothers having a fun game.
And it's good to hear their names because, again, these are 4-year guys. They came in here. They were highly recruited, highly touted. And, the program has struggled since they've been here. And it's nice for them to be able to, maybe play their last games, especially here for Delaware State, and have their names constantly called for doing big things.
The Dragons to punt again. Almost got that one. The Hornets almost blocked it. Bryant on the return. Daniels on the return for Delaware State, and a risky decision to catch the ball and run with it. Almost turned it over as it came loose, recovered by the Hornets.
As this game goes on, you're going to see more and more names, more and more numbers come into this game, because Coach Milstead is probably going to want to get as many guys playing time as possible.
The challenge will be for us. During the one of the previous timeouts after an unsportsmanlike conduct call, we watched Rod Milstead, who's been pretty even keel all season. He led into his defense, and I don't think we're going to see any more of the foolishness out there. He lit into the entire team. Here's quarterback Smith scrambling with the football. Nope, it was not Shane Smith. Isaiah Williams, the tight end, with the ball. As Smith got it off to Williams at the last moment on the option. Williams picking up 5 yards, 2nd and 5.
Tremendous heads-up play by Smith.
Showing a lot of savvy for his first start at Delaware State. Smith drops back, plenty of time. Throwing across the middle, threw it behind his intended receiver, only his second incompleted pass. And that was just a missed timing with his receiver.
Looked like
Selby.
Might have been his third option on that play, Gary. I don't know if Selby was the intended target of that particular play, and Smith going through his progressions just found him late, and that ball was a little bit behind because, again, I think he was the third choice on that play.
Selby never had a chance to even try to reach back for it. 3rd down and 5. Shane Smith again drops back on 3rd and 5, throws complete across, and just a slant-in pattern by Isaiah Williams, and Williams hits the tacklers and then surges forward, the tight end, down to the Dragons' 39-yard line, and a Hornet first down.
That's a Delaware lottery first down. Hornets.
The kind of game where everybody gets strengthened on every play. One guy does something good, and the next guy just wants to top it.
Welcome to Hornet football.
Hope to see a lot of this in future seasons. Bryant Dallas on the carry. Hit, Rod. The only way you can stop him is exactly what the tackler did. Grabbed his legs and held on for dear life as Dallas took it to the 35-yard line.
That's a good pickup on first down. He's going to get about 4.5, maybe 5 on that play, and that's what they want at that first down situation.
It will be 2nd and 6. Dallas again on the carry. And Dallas close to the first down as he works his way to the 30-yard line. 3rd and a yard to go. Plenty of time left here in this first half, just over 2 minutes, and the Hornets trying to put some more points on the board. Pass left side, complete to Selby. Selby hit after he gets first down yardage, breaks the tackle, brings it all the way back around to the other side. He's on the right side to the 20, 10, 5, touchdown. Teron Selby, an incredible play. He was hit after crossing the line of scrimmage, catching that pass, broke the tackle, came all the way across field, and then took it in for the touchdown.
That's definitely just a hard play to describe, Gary. Not very good tackling by Virginia Lynchburg, and he took full advantage of it. He's supposed to be tackled for a loss on this play, but he never gave up. He shows you the determination, eluding tacklers, picking up blockers as he reverses to the other side of the field and just basically gets an escort from his teammates into the end zone.
The alertness of the offensive line to realize he was heading back the other direction. The extra point kick. Hold on, we have a penalty marker.
Penalty flag on the play.
as quarterback Jack McDaniels Holder never put the ball down. He was going to run with it. That was going to be a fake. But we have offside by Virginia Lynchburg. So the Hornets will try this again. 40-point lead right now for Delaware State. Yes, you heard that right. 40-point lead for Delaware State. Make it 41 as the extra point kick by Jose Romo Martinez is good. Now with 1:51 left in the first half. Maybe the most unusual and exciting touchdown play we've seen this season by Teron Selby.
Just shows you the athleticism with that individual effort. This is a guy who was one of the more highly touted receivers. He was even on the list of All-MEAC, I think his second team this season. So he was projected to be a performer, but the level of talent that we faced in the first part of the season didn't really allow Delaware State's offense to shine. New offense, new plays. But, look, I'm looking at some of the efforts that you're seeing now, and you get an idea of why this guy was so highly touted when he came out of high school.
How about that on your final game at Delaware State to have your career best? 6 catches so far for 127 yards. 137 yards. Previous career high was 110 yards on 5 catches last year against Howard.
Look, if you can't get a ring, right, the next best thing is a record and a giant poster of yourself.
We're going to get one of those posters for you someday. The kickoff to the 3-yard line, bobbled, now picked up. Looking for some running room, cutting it to the right side. Found a bit of a seam. Now in the open. Penalty marker goes flying in from way back, and that could be why this Dragon player is going to go the distance, but I have a feeling it's going to come back. I think we had an illegal block in the back or a hold. That penalty marker was thrown about 25 yards.
Second best pass of the
it was
of the play.
Second longest in the air. And the official who threw it, or the referee, is standing right at the marker. That would have been a 98-yard touchdown run. But maybe the reason he got that distance was the illegal block in the back. They'll bring it back.
That's a great return, but, tough play, for Virginia Lynchburg.
They'll set the ball down at the Virginia Lynchburg 16-yard line. No points for the Dragons on that punt, the kickoff return. And now this Hornet defense gets a chance to dig in again and see what they can do in this final minute and a half of the first half. Cameron Stevenson drops back. Got a little bit of time. Looks like we have a new quarterback in the game, and an incredible catch way up high. And the receiver went up and pulled it down with his fingertips. Javon Green, the wide receiver. Keegan McCormick Reamer in at quarterback now for Virginia Lynchburg. There was only a 1-yard gain on the play, but an incredible catch. Reamer, left-handed quarterback, throwing incomplete. Receiver had it in his hands, but then he took a big, big hit from Isaiah Small. And the intended and the receiver on that play is down. Small knocked that ball loose. Knocked a few other things loose, too, I have a feeling.
That was a big hit. That's a...
And that...
I don't know if he got his bell rung or if that was a shot to the sternum.
Yeah, it looked like ribs possibly because it came from the side, but he is in discomfort as they attend to him on the field. At halftime, we'll be sending it back to the studio for updates on all the scores, what's happening in college football today. And we'll see again, that was just a good hit by Isaiah Small. Players up and being aided to the sideline. Hey, fans, thanks for spending this afternoon with us here listening to Delaware State football. We hope you'll spend the evening with us as well. We've just enjoyed being with you today, so stay with us. We'll make a big date out of it. We have women's basketball coming up at 7:30. The Hornets ladies against Post. Mike Walker and I will take the long walk across from Alumni Stadium to Memorial Hall and do that game for you as well. Here it is, 3rd down and a running play through the middle, and this one will get a first down for Virginia Lynchburg. They haven't worked with much of a ground game. In fact, they are in negative yardage on rushing. Before that play, a negative 31. Picked up the first down. They'll stay on the ground again. Looks like they've decided a change of strategy here with the different quarterback in the game, Keegan McCormick-Reamer. Tomas Newman on the carry, picking up 5 yards to make it 2nd down and 5. And if they get this play off, it will be the last one of the first half. Reamer not in any hurry to get this play off either, obviously. Takes the snap. Throwing, lobs it downfield. It will be intercepted. Joanne Granger picks it off to put an end to the first half for the Delaware State Hornets, as they'll go to the locker room with a 41-0 lead. And the fans who, you looked down at one time and said, where all of you people come from? When the game started, sparse in the crowd, but all of a sudden we've got a full house here, and they have enjoyed this first half with the Hornets doing everything they wanted to offensively and defensively, and some great individual efforts to provide that spark for Delaware State. They go to the locker room, 41-0 here at the half. This is MEAC Football on HSRN, the voice of HBCU Sports and ESPN3. The Delaware State University Athletic Hall of Fame inducted the class of 2018 last night. The 11 new members were honored during the Hall of Fame banquet and induction ceremony. Delaware State University's Kaylin Pride has more.
Thanks, Gary. So last night I had the chance to talk to 10 of our inductees about their experience and how Delaware State University impacted their lives. Let's take a look.
Congratulations, Hall of Famers.
Delaware State for me was the best 4 years of my life. We capped it off with a championship in 2008, and many of my teammates today I still talk to. They've been in my wedding, I've been in theirs, and it was just an incredible opportunity and experience for me. Yeah, I would not be where I am today without Del State. It was by far the best decision that I've ever made.
Delaware State, it was all about the family at Delaware State. I came here and met brothers and sisters here that the things that I grew up with, that my mother and father instilled in me, it just took me a long way. It's like my continuation of a family here. They taught me how to stay the course and work hard. My parents instilled that in me, that if you're going to do something, do it right and do it with love and passion. And that's what, and that's what Delaware State's all about, the love and passion for the institution and for my fellow players.
I've given back, but it's given back me much more. I'm the president of Delaware State University Booster Club. We do all concessions. We have an endowment that we're trying to build, which last year we gave $10,000. We'll be giving $10,000 back this year, and our money goes towards scholarships for the students, athletes. So it's been a blessing to me, and I hope I've been a blessing to them.
My experience was amazing. I started off as a freshman, became a starter as a freshman, a captain as a freshman, and remained a captain all 4 years. As a captain, it's not only on the court, it's off the court. It's about the physical abilities with people being on the court, getting there on time. But at the same time, it's the camaraderie of it, talking to guys about anything they're going through, off the court wise, and just keeping people together.
My experience at Delaware State has been remarkable. Throughout the various stages of my life, it prepared me greatly for what was to become. I met so many fantastic, remarkable people who are still my friends today, my fraternity members. I met my wife here, which was a blessing. And it also prepared me for life after college. Without coming to Delaware State, I wouldn't be standing here being honest tonight. And I want to give thanks to the Athletic Hall of Fame, to Dr. Michoud, and to my wife and family.
It was really great to hear from our inductees. When we come back, we're going to hear more.
Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville.
Welcome back. Let's hear more from our inductees.
When I first came to Delaware State, I was just coming here to play sports and just do the best I could. But it ended up being a whole lot more than what I planned to. Once I buckled down on my books and got everything situated, and after leaving Delaware State, I went to the Seattle Seahawks and Buffalo Bills and the San Diego Chargers. So I was really getting it. I was trying to get there.
Can't really put it into words what I experienced. I came from a small town, St. Mary's County, came up here to Dover, came to a different atmosphere. It was kind of different for me, so it was a lot of adversity at first. People told me coming to Delaware State you weren't going to, win, you weren't going to be able to do anything after, a small school. But, being from a small school doesn't matter, what the size of the school. It just matters, what you believe in. So, we had a coach that told us that, and so it just told us, overall, just to excel and just be the best we can be.
I was dorm council president, I was men's council president, and I was dorm council president again. I was on the advisory board, I was on the student government environment, along with playing football. Yeah, there's a lot of athletes that we do a lot of other things that we don't even talk about. There are a lot of guys that came before me, a lot of guys that talk to me about things. Like what are the impact you gonna leave on society, Calvin? These young players, they need someone to step up to the plate. They need black leaders, because all the things that's been said about young black men, say we're this and we're that here, they need us out there up front.
Baseball's been, was my first love. I've loved it ever since I was 5 years old. To this day, I'm still a baseball coach in college. So it's still, now that I've had some success and had some honors, and now I'm trying to give back and teach the next generation, about the game I love.
Delaware State itself ingrained that grind for me, if you will. Playing ball, I came in as a freshman, expecting to play, and it didn't always go my way. And what I learned from the experience is just keep on going, because your time is going to come. And that's what I would say to any ball player, to any kids, there's no such thing as failure unless you just stop it yourself.
It was great hearing from the 2018 Hall of Famers. Gary will be back soon for the second half.
If they don't get in, he gonna have a big for the big awesome.
On all the time. It's fantastic. We get to build toys for kids and change the world. It's a big deal.
Back at Alumni Stadium at Delaware State University, Hornets enjoying a halftime lead. So are the fans, 41-0 over Virginia Lynchburg. And there were a lot of highlights in the first half. A lot of great individual effort. That touchdown by Teron Selby, where he was hit a yard past the line of scrimmage over on the far side of the field. just bounced off the tackler and came all the way across field and took it in from around the 30-yard line. That's a highlight film in itself. Just a great play for Delaware State as they put up a lot of points here in the first half. Folks would like to see them put up more points in the second half. And honestly, I don't think, because it's the final game of the season, we're going to see Coach Rod Milstead get very conservative. We may see guys who haven't had much playing time, but they're going to go all out.
Sure.
That's their reward for the season.
Right, and, obviously Coach Milstead is the type of guy, he's not going to try to run up the score. But if you're running plays and guys just somehow end up in the end zone, it's hard to tell a guy, look, don't run, and score a touchdown. It's one thing if you're passing the ball, but if you're running the ball, you can't really be accused of running up the score.
What was that you were telling me the last time they scored more than 40 points in the first half?
Yeah, it was back in 2006 against St. Francis, and it was 49-7 on September 7th. So it's been that long since Delaware State has had this type of offensive output.
And if you're trying to place that game, if you're a longtime Hornets fan, it was the first game under the lights here in Alumni Stadium. And I know I was here on a television side. You were probably working too.
It's a strong possibility.
It's
I
very
was
strong, yeah. All right, so we're about ready for the second half to get underway. The official sponsors of HSRN are American Spirit Federal Credit Union, Ebon Environmental. To give the football to the kicker. Oh, we have cut the length of the third and fourth quarters now. We will be playing 10-minute quarters in the second half.
That's an agreement that both coaches have to reach. It's one of those situations where a team is dominating so much that they realize there's no need to really, play the full 15-minute quarter.
That kick up a pop-up, and it was taken at the 34-yard line by Virginia Lynchburg. And the great thing about a pop-up kickoff is that the coverage team gets downfield very quickly. Jose Romo Martinez kicked that one. DeAndre Johnson on the return for the Dragons out to the 37-yard line. And that's where Virginia Lynchburg will put it in play here to start the second half. Let's see who they bring out at quarterback here in this half. Keegan McCormick Reamer came in the late in the second quarter. He is in left-handed quarterback, throws a quick out on the far side of the field, and the receiver works his way all the way to the 45, maybe 46-yard line. Could be about a yard short of the first down. And again, we apologize from our distance and our angle. Sometimes it's hard to make out the numerals on those jerseys that are gray in color with a powder blue numeral. And that number just kind of blends in. Keegan McCormick Reamer with a 2nd down and 1 from the shotgun. Throws left side. The coverage man fell down. It is complete. And they'll get big yardage into Delaware State territory to the 34-yard line. Javon Green, the wide receiver, on the catch for the Dragons. And it looked like Jihad Niebauer just fell down as the ball was getting there. 1st and 10, the handoff in the backfield. And there's that defense is not going to allow any running room. We have a penalty marker that goes in. But a loss on the play of almost 5 yards on that carry by Tomas Newman.
Brian Cavalcante on the initial contact, and I give Virginia Lynchburg, give them credit. These small running backs, they find a way, Gary, not to be tackled. They're very elusive and they're hard to bring down. It's almost like chasing your little brother out there.
Yeah, but all of a sudden it was like the big brother brought all of his neighborhood friends, and you just can't get away from all that. The penalty on the play was a hold, so the Hornets went with the penalty. A 10-yard step off brings up 1st down and 20. Reamer The long count. Drops back, throwing, going downfield, incomplete, and just too far for his intended receiver, and off the mark, too. He's trying to get it to Javon Green. Good coverage downfield by Jawayne Granger, who had an interception in the first half to end the first half.
Looked like Javon Green actually got behind Granger. If that ball had been placed properly, it could have actually resulted in a big reception for Virginia Lynchburg.
Granger came up a little bit gimpy there, too. He was flexing that right knee, so that could have been the problem. 2nd and 20. Reamer scrambling left side, decides to run with it. Has a bunch of yardage and then dives forward at around the 30-yard line. It's going to be short of the first down by 6 yards, but he got 14 on that play. He could have picked up a little bit more. He made a dive instead of the slide, too, which leaves him vulnerable to a hit.
McCormick Reamer just showing some poise back there in the pocket, making good decisions and good throws.
3rd and 5, Reamer. Pressure coming. He's going to be sacked. Back at the 40-yard line. Loss of 11 on the play.
Jason Smith.
4th down and 16.
He started out the game with that clown mask on, Gary, but clearly he wasn't playing around on that particular play.
No, he is not clowning out there today. What a great story. Finished his collegiate studies and graduated from Marshall University, sat out 2017, and then decided, I've got another year of eligibility left. I'd like to play football. He contacted Delaware State, and he's finishing up today in fine style. Here's Reamer on 4th and 16, running for his life. Runs down the left side and will head for the out-of-bounds marker, well short of the first down. Hornets will take over on downs.
Good coverage.
And, it was good coverage. Hornets will get it 1st and 10 at their own. If they put the ball down, I'll tell you. They keep tossing it around, and I can't tell where the line of scrimmage will be. The 33-yard line. Breaking the action on the exchange. We'll take a timeout here. This is MEAC Football on HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports, and ESPN3.
It's hard to stop a train.
Action, Gary Lang along with Mike Walker. And the Hornets continue at quarterback with Shane Smith. Just tosses a little screen pass out on the right side, and it is complete. They'll pick up yardage to the 35-yard line to Bryson Aline. And he is going out in fine style today, isn't he?
Seems like all the seniors are contributing big time in today's game, Gary.
Hornets put 3 receivers wide on the left side. It's 2nd down and 8. Aline in the backfield. 1 receiver on the right side. Shane Smith with a terrific first half. Gives it to Bryson Aline. Just follows that left tackle and had a lot of running room. Picks up yardage to the 49-yard line. Let's check that 39-yard line. Third down and 4 for Delaware State now, as they're going to keep the ball on the ground pretty much and just try to run out the clock. If they get more points, okay, but they've got enough to come away with a win here. Screen pass to Aline, left side, cuts back inside 1 tackler. He's going to be stopped short of the first down. It'll be 4th and 1. In another situation, maybe they'd go for it here from their 42-yard line. What is Coach Rod Milstead going to do here? Will he test his offense? Yep. They're not sending in the punting unit. 4th and a yard to go from the 42.
And it makes sense. You just want to control the ball. You want to control the clock. It's not a matter of trying to win a game anymore. It's just really about getting this game done with.
And complete confidence here today in his defense, too. Smith directing traffic in the backfield there. Down to 2 seconds on the play clock. Has to snap it, and he won't. They'll take the penalty unless they got a timeout in. I'm not sure if they got the time.
Yes, they did.
Yeah. It had to be called by the bench because we didn't see any indication from Shane Smith that he wanted the 30-second timeout there. American Spirit Federal Credit Union is a proud supporter.
The Delaware Lottery has given more than $5.2 billion to Delaware. Ball on the 42-yard line.
Hornets with a 4th down and a yard here from their own 42-yard line. They'll give it to Bryson Aline. He pushes forward, has the first down. Hornets came back there with a run by Bryson Aline on 4th and 1. They got it to the 44-yard line, and they have the first down.
So they're going to maintain possession of the ball and the clock. And, again, this is really not about trying to run up the score. This game pretty much is a foregone conclusion. It's really just about time management and seeing if they could just end this game.
And get a few minutes of playing time maybe for some of the guys who will be back next year. It's Aline into the middle of the stack, and he has stopped at no gain. Some of these players, they've worked hard since spring and haven't gotten many minutes on the field. Opportunity today for Rod Milstead to take a look at some of the other players, as he did today here with Shane Smith at quarterback. Smith fakes the handoff, play action complete to Ron Selby. He has already had a career day in the first half, but the completed pass to the 46-yard line of the Dragons. Got to keep him honest. Every once in a while you have to throw that short pass.
And again, they're going to mix it up just to maintain possession of the ball and, drive it down the field, and they might end up in the end zone. But, that's just the result of small executions on plays.
At the snap, we have an illegal procedure false start on Delaware State. Will cost them 5 yards, move the ball back across the 50-yard line to the Hornets' 49. And they actually got Isaiah Williams, the tight end, for the early movement. 1st and 15 for Delaware State then. Shane Smith, long signal counts, throws the quick out, incomplete. And the coverage man, had he not gone for the tackle or to break it up from Trey Gross, might have had a chance for a pick six.
It's one of those situations where if you go for the ball and you miss it and Trey Gross catches it, now he's celebrating in the end zone. So as a defender, you're supposed to make the tackle. You're supposed to go through for the ball through the wide receiver.
2nd down and 15. Bryson Aline picks his way through a hole at the line of scrimmage, gets back to the 46-yard line, gets the 5 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 10 for the Hornets.
Delaware State just taking its time, not rushing to the line of scrimmage, looking at the play clock.
We get long snap counts. The snap, and he's going to run with the football. Shane Smith stepping forward, picking up about 2 yards on the play to the 44. That'll bring up 4th down and 8 for Delaware State. And again, looks like the offensive unit will stay out there. It's in the position in the field that even if you turn it over on downs, you're not hurting yourself a lot.
Turning it over to the defense really, is not a bad situation for Delaware State because the defense has been phenomenal in today's game.
And they're fresh. Oh, hold on. We have a movement on the offensive line. It looks like Leaky Sue came out early.
He's had a tough game today. He's got a holding penalty, the offsides, and a personal foul situation. So, he's had a pretty tough game today.
With moving the ball back to the 49-yard line, the Hornets will now punt for the first time this afternoon. As Jose Romo Martinez goes in, took over the punting duties from his brother, Felix, who was hurt during the Howard game making a tackle and has missed the remainder of the season. So the place kicker took over the punting duties. And he's done pretty well at it as well. Averaging 41.8 yards per punt on the season. Fake. The snap goes to the short man, Brian Cavalcante, and the defense covers him very quickly. He only got back to the line of scrimmage. Hornets have used that play previously this season.
It's worked twice, too.
Yeah, didn't quite do what they wanted it to that time. 2 minutes left in the third quarter. We have a break here at Alumni Stadium, a timeout on the field. This is MEAC Football on HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports.
Ditch the teleprompter because I own this. Line.
Virginia Lynchburg, ball 1st and 10 from their own 49-yard line as the Hornets turn it over on downs just before the timeout, and they'll decide for a running play. They go to the flea flicker as they were caught in the backfield, and that ball will be picked off at the Hornets' 32-yard line. It's Jihad Niebauer on the interception for Delaware State.
Number 2 with his second interception of the day for Delaware State University.
Defense just does not want to be on the field as they immediately get the ball back for the offense. Defense says, you guys put up the points. Why don't you just stay on the field? That play was broken up from the beginning, and I don't know if that was an intended flea flicker. But Keegan McCormick, Reamer, got the ball back and threw it downfield and just threw it. Nobody really in the vicinity except Jihad Niebauer. Jack McDaniels comes in at quarterback for Delaware State. Hands off on first down to Giovanni Downey, who gets his first carry of the season.
Downey, 5'9", 200-pound running back.
Last year he played in all 11 games. We haven't called his name or number at all this year. Picked up 7 yards on the play, 2nd down and 3. Teron Selby gets another catch, and he'll have a first down as once again he breaks tackles, and it takes some gang tackling to stop him around the 41-yard line. First down, Hornets. And again, as we had early in the first half, things getting a little testy down there.
Whole bunch of new offensive linemen in the game as well.
Yeah, here's where we get challenged because we get names we haven't been working with all day. The handoff again is to Downey. Downey into the middle, and they open up a pretty good gap there, picking up 3 yards to the 37. We wondered at the beginning of the game, would it be Jack McDaniels today? Would it be Keenan Black? And instead it was Shane Smith, but now Jack McDaniels gets the opportunity. Fakes the handoff, passes, it is incomplete. McDaniels got belted pretty good as he let that ball go too. The ball was smacked down at the line of scrimmage.
Good play by Virginia Lynchburg. Got good pressure on McDaniels. And the offensive line, again, this is a new unit in there, so they may not be as cohesive as the offensive line that was protecting Shane Smith. But again, good defense by Virginia Lynchburg.
Looked like the defensive back Marvin Grunschy on a blitz. McDaniels drops, rolls right side, throws complete. Gets it to Brett Pilkerton. Pilkerton inside the 30-yard line. Delaware State first down. Pilkington's first catch of the season.
The 6', 190 freshman. Here's a guy who's got a whole lot of years left at Del State.
From the 27-yard line, handoff to Downey. Downey ahead for a couple of yards. Gets it inside the 25. Looks like around the 23-yard line. Pickup of 4 for the Hornets. And that's the end of the third quarter here in Dover, Delaware. Third period has come to an end. This is Yep, we're going to take the break here. This is MEAC Football on HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports and ESPN3.
Just like you.
Oh! It's 2nd and 6.
For Delaware State in at quarterback, Jack McDaniels. Faced with a 2nd and 6. He'll hand it off on 2nd down to Giovanni Downey. Downey hit behind the line of scrimmage, lost a yard to make it 3rd down and 7.
Delaware State roughly about 4 yards outside of the red zone.
McDaniels throwing to the end zone. Incomplete, broken up. Good coverage, and it is picked off in the end zone. The ball bounced up in the air, popped up in the air, and it was picked off, brought out all the way past the 30-yard line.
The intended receiver for Delaware State University was Brett Pinkleton, and somehow the ball hit him in his chest, Gary, and it popped off of him, and it landed in the hands of Virginia Lynchburg.
The ball went high in the air and was brought out of the end zone, so Virginia Lynchburg will put it in play. We'll see where they mark the line of scrimmage. It'll be the Dragons' 33-yard line. So this defense will actually have to work here in the second half. And we'll get a look at that again as we saw the aftermath of it. And a good return as it caught the offensive unit a bit off guard. Here's a running play through the middle, going to be close to the 1st down on the carry, and that's Tomas Newman. And they're going to put the ball down and move the chains. 1st down, 10-yard pickup by Newman. They come quickly back to the line of scrimmage. Keegan McCormick Reamer hands off. They'll run right side, and they're trying to quicken the pace here with the shortened clock, see if they can get some points on the board and avoid the goose egg. It was Mohamed Kila on the carry.
Again, wholesale exchanges for Delaware State University, a whole bunch of different players in the game, especially in the interior and at the linebacker position. 2nd
down and 5. Reamer. Pressure there, has to step up, gets away from one tackler, runs right side, and he is going to be sacked. It's Kyle Taylor, the linebacker, with the sack for Delaware State back at the 41-yard line.
Another senior getting involved in today's game. Great job by Taylor on that play.
Kyle Taylor on the tackle there in the backfield. He just was not going to let him get away. That's his 3rd solo tackle on the season. His brother may be playing across town here today. Kyle Taylor's brother plays for Wesley College in Dover. And now, at the line of scrimmage, we have whistles and penalty markers. Virginia Lynchburg indicating that it might be against Delaware State, would be an encroachment.
There's a pretty good flop there by
well, it wasn't encroachment, but it was a 5-yard step off against Delaware State to make it 3rd down and 7.
Savon Henderson for Virginia Lynchburg doing his best LeBron James impersonation with that flop.
It worked. Here's Reamer dropping back again. Pressure going all the way downfield. Has a receiver open, complete inside the 20-yard line. Down at the 18.
Traquan Manning on the coverage. He just got beat on that particular play.
Dragons 1st down, and this is the best field position they've had today inside the red zone for Delaware State at the 18-yard line. Reamer rolling left side, throwing end zone. It will be caught for a touchdown.
Touchdown Dragons.
Had to wait for the call from the official, but it was a touchdown for the Dragons.
I think they might have to review this one, Gary.
Catch was made by Corey Smith Jr., one of the wide receivers, and the question was whether or not he was in bounds when he made the catch. We'll get a second look at it from here, and without a doubt, that's a touchdown. So the goose egg is gone for Virginia Lynchburg, and they took advantage of the turnover and then a big, long pass to put them in scoring position. The extra point kick is good. So they cut into Delaware State's lead. The Hornets now lead by 34, 41-7, with 7:22 left to play. Just a 5-play drive for Virginia Lynchburg. Break in the action, timeout on the field. This is MEAC football on HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports and
Experience it in IMAX December 21st.
At Alumni Stadium in Dover, Delaware, Hornets leading here by 34. Delaware State up over Virginia University of Lynchburg, 41-7. The Dragons just put their first points on the board. A 5-play scoring drive that went 57 yards. They'll kick off to Delaware State for only the second time this afternoon. It's a short kickoff, and it's bobbled and covered at the 27-yard line. And those short kicks can really cause you problems because it's people who aren't used to handling the football that have to try to deal with it. People who aren't used to taking a kickoff, and it ended up in the hands of Miles Beverly, a tight end. He's a hands guy, but he's used to a ball coming more at him straight than a pop-up from up in the air.
And it does exactly what it was supposed to do on that particular play. Like you said, put the hands, put the ball in the hands of a guy who doesn't normally provide any type of offense in that position.
Hornets will put their third quarterback of the day in now as Keenan Black comes in to run the offense. Black, hands off on first down. He'll give it to Giovanni Downey. And you like what Rod Milstead has done here today. He started the sophomore at quarterback, gave him his first career start, and now he put in his other two quarterbacks here in the second half.
He's giving everybody an opportunity to kind of audition for next year, if you ask me, because all three of these quarterbacks are coming back. None of them are seniors. Keenan Black is a junior. McDaniels and Smith are sophomores.
And Smith puts his name in the mix here today with his play. It'll be Black on the carry on 2nd and 5. He gets almost 10 yards for a Hornet first down, and a late flag comes in.
And that's going to be against Virginia Lynchburg for extracurricular activity. Keenan Black just doing what Keenan Black does so well, and that's run the rock in open space.
Personal foul. They'll get it on Kevin Simmons, number 31, for Virginia Lynchburg, and that will add 15 yards onto the play for Delaware State, putting it on the Dragons' 43-yard line. Keenan Black on the season for Delaware State. 2 touchdown passes on the season. On the option, keeps it, pushes forward inside the 40 down to the 37-yard line. That's a 6-yard pickup. He really used the option well there to string out the defense.
And what I like, Gary, is he didn't force the situation. He recognized that the pitch wasn't there, so he picked up as many yards as he could and just, basically tucked and gathered.
And a good runner. We knew that. 148 net yards rushing, average 3.1 yards per carry during the season. Black from the shotgun on 2nd down and 4. Gives it to Downey. Downey has the first down for Delaware State inside the 30. 28-yard line. They'll move the chains again.
Just slugging along Delaware State. That offensive line just pounding. And these are all second stringers who are out there right now, and they're still getting the job done.
Hornets want to get back that 7 points that they gave up. You can't erase them from the scoreboard, but you can make the lead the same. Black to Downey. Downey looking for the hole. Holds up at the line of scrimmage and finds a little bit of space to dance through to the 24.
Clock just ticking down. It's about 5:07, 5:06 left in the game.
It's a nice 4-yard pickup by Giovanni Downey. 2nd and 6. Keenan Black works from the shotgun. He'll hand it off again. This time, right through the middle, it's Taj Washington, who they list on the roster as a defensive back. He's had a few carries this year, and he gets the first down to the 10-yard line.
He played defensive back last year, but there are quite a few guys who have been kind of reassigned since they changed coaching staffs, and they see him as a better running back than they do defensive back.
His 6th carry of the season for a first down. They'll run it into the middle this time, pushing to the 5-yard line.
Devontae Doward, another running back.
Doward hadn't had a carry since the Buffalo game. He had his only carry of the season for 3 yards in that game. They'll give it to him again. He'll find a tough running there into the middle as he gets ahead to the 4-yard line, only a gain of a yard. As the clock continues to run, down to around 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in the game. And now Doward goes out. He's going to come out of the game. And Niall Oge will come in for Delaware State. Played his high school ball very close to here, down around Salisbury, Maryland. Played for Parkside High School. They'll run it right side, and they'll come up just short of the end zone on the carry by Oge. Call it 4th down from the 2-yard line. A freshman. And they're going to go for it on 4th down. Oge in the backfield with Keenan Black, who is also a threat to run the ball. They hand it off to Oge. He can't get in. He is stacked up at the line of scrimmage, and the Hornets will be denied that touchdown. They will turn it over to Virginia Lynchburg from their own 2-yard line with just over 2.5 minutes to play. And a break in the action. Timeout on the field. This is MEAC football on HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports.
Can make an impact.
The Hornets. It's 1st and 10 from the 2-yard line for the Dragons of Virginia University Lynchburg. They'll try to work out of the end zone, and there is an incomplete pass. Should have been caught. No reason for that ball to be dropped, but it was dropped, and it will bring up 2nd down and 10. Muhammad Kila out of the backfield, unable to make the catch.
Delaware State just really content to play preventive defense at this point. I don't think they're going to really press a safety here. They just really want to let this time tick down.
Well, they are putting some pressure on, and good coverage there. And they're going to call a pass interference, but I'm not sure. The receiver came out, and he was almost like he was trying to block the defensive back. The ball was thrown in that direction, but it was all within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. But they are going to get the Hornets for pass interference on that one, Mike. What do you think?
It's probably a mercy call, just to give them some room. But, look, it's all subjective at this point. If you're Delaware State, fine. Let them move the chains. It's not going to really impact the outcome of the game.
5-yard penalty, but a first down. Clock continues. It was on the uncompleted pass. It did stop at 2:27. Keegan McCormick-Reamer remains at quarterback. And hold on. Hornets have jumped across the line of scrimmage, coming unabated, and nobody stopped him. Michael Dunham. So this will be another 5-yard step off against Delaware State. It will not come with a first down, but it makes it 1st and 5. Coach Rod Milstead just wants his guys to hold it together here for the last 2.5 minutes.
Right. Act like you've been here before, son. Just relax. The play will come to you. You don't have to get there first.
They do look like they want to blitz Reamer, though. Maybe the defense is thinking turnover and 6, huh?
I'm sure the guys out there are thinking that.
I'll bet. Running play, trying the left side, and not much there. Just back to the line of scrimmage on the carry. It was Tomas Newman on the carry. 2nd down and 5. Dragons not in any hurry to get back to the line of scrimmage and get a playoff either. They'll be happy when this game is over. And the bus heads for Lynchburg. Reamer now audibling at the line of scrimmage. And he sees Jason Smith setting up almost like a linebacker, now approaching the line of scrimmage. He'll drop back in coverage. Reamer throwing down, left sideline, incomplete. Threw it out of bounds. Johnny Rembert trying to get down there. Good coverage on the play. Nigel Bynum. Bynum had a great game against South Carolina State. He had 4 solo tackles in that game. But when your defensive back is making that many solo tackles, you have a little bit of a problem.
Right. That means guys up front aren't making that many solo tackles.
Or passes are being completed back there in coverage.
Right. Right.
3rd down and 5. You just hope he makes the tackles. And once again, clock stopped on the incompleted pass. Dragons taking a lot of time, and they're going to have to call a timeout here. Yep, Dragons calling the timeout and the break in the action. We'll take this timeout as well. This is MEAC Football on HSRN, the voice of HBCU Sports and ESPN. Down to the last minute and 37 seconds of the football game. 3rd down and 5 for Virginia Lynchburg, the Dragons, at their own 12-yard line. Hornets show blitz. They're coming, and they sure did. And it's intercepted, picked off by David Bowman. Credit that interception to Jason Smith, who caps off his collegiate career with a big blitz up the middle. Nobody touched him. Nobody slowed him down. He hit the quarterback and made that interception happen.
Bowman, the superstar out of Milford High School. It's only fitting that he get that interception. He's played a lot of football this season as a freshman. A role that he probably didn't expect to play on this team, but he's been involved in every play of the defense pretty much this season, and it's only fitting that he get an opportunity to get his name mentioned in that regard as far as an interception.
Through 10 games, Bowman had 47 tackles, 27 of them solo. Here's quarterback Keenan Black on the keeper, down to the 5-yard line. Bowman, a year ago, was in the high school tournament as he was helping lead the Milford Buccaneers to a Division II championship just a year ago. And the penalty marker on the play, unsportsmanlike conduct against Delaware State. And this will put a bit of a sour taste in Rod Milstead's mouth as this game comes to an end.
There is a teachable moment here because you have to have self-discipline. You can't allow yourself to be goaded or influenced to react to the behavior of your opponent. You have to recognize that the game, the focus of the game is always about points on the scoreboard and not reacting to the actions of your opponent.
David Bowman knows what to do with the football when he gets it. He holds the Milford record in yards for scrimmage. Handoff on 2nd down is to Bryson Aline as they'll let him finish it out. His collegiate career as well here at Delaware State to the 21-yard line. No gain on the carry. 3rd down and about 18.
This could be the last play of the game, Gary, for Delaware State University, and the last play of the season. And depending on who touches it, it could be the last play for them as a collegiate player.
You almost think that Rod Milstead wants to give Bryson Aline that opportunity to be the last man to carry the ball here. They're going to keep it on the ground. It's Keenan Black on the keeper. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and he will be taken down for a loss of yardage.
Keenan Black on the quarterback keeper.
That should give them an opportunity to run out the clock. We're down to 5 seconds left. And everybody comes together. You don't see the camaraderie between the two teams, not after this one. This one has been a tight contest in terms of how the teams dealt with each other all afternoon. But the Hornets come away with a 41-7 win over Virginia University from Lynchburg. For Delaware State, what an opportunity to celebrate here today as they finish off the season with as many wins in 2018 as they had in the previous 3 seasons combined. That has to really do something to make the seniors feel good.
You know, and equally as important, Gary, I think they gave their fans a treat today. It just wasn't a victory. It was one of those victories that gave them an opportunity to do a whole lot of cheering. The offense was explosive today. A lot of different guys got involved. The good thing is the biggest contributors were the seniors, Eileen and Selby. They did great jobs today of running and catching the ball.
You saw Selby there on a touchdown. There's Bryson Aline. We're looking at some replay footage of this contest here for Delaware State. And on a pass play, Bryson Aline eluding tacklers, going inside and breaking tackles. Just a great effort by all the Delaware State players today, especially those seniors. And the Teron Selby play that's just incredible when he caught the pass, was hit 1 yard past the line of scrimmage, eluded the tackler, brought it all the way across the field and went in from about the 30-yard line. Just great efforts by these Hornet players here this afternoon. And I think we saw a sample of the future.
You saw the possibilities. You know, you add a few more pieces to what you saw today, and, you know, they may be literally looking to, you know, compete for a MEAC championship. Because that's the goal year in and year out, to win the MEAC. You win the MEAC, you get a shot to go to the Celebration Bowl. And, you know, the goal now in HBCU sports at the Division I level is to win the Celebration Bowl. It's where the money's at. So Delaware State, I thought today showed that they have a lot of foundational pieces. It's just a matter of what can they add to it to help them over the top.
And we'll be back at Alumni Stadium in just a moment. But for our friends from ESPN, we want to remind you all games airing on ESPN are streaming live, archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. For our fans on the radio, we'll continue along.